You can never outperform the thoughts going on inside your own mind. What that means is that whenever you go to do something uncomfortable or whenever you try to create a change, whether you will or you won't comes down to how you think, because your opinion of yourself literally dictates what you'll do in those moments. Let me explain. It all comes down to self-belief. Now, we've heard it a million times, but you may not have put it together in a way that you can actually use. So that's my intention for this video. Generally speaking, when we go to do something hard, or when we go to make a change, or go to do something uncomfortable, whether we will or we won't comes down to whether we think we're capable of doing it. Because we're not really scared of doing the thing, we're scared about whether it will work out or not. And that comes down to our own self-belief, our belief in ourselves. Now, everyone has a different way of perceiving themselves, but we're all human. So we've all done things we're proud of, and we've all done things we're not proud of. We've all had people do really good things for us, and we've all had people do horrible things to us. And it's the combination of the way we've made sense of our past that basically dictates what we'll get ourselves to do in the future. And that sounds complicated, but it's not really. See, you're the only person who knows what you do in the dark. So if you've woken up an hour early this week and you've exercised, if your goal's to lose weight, or you've practiced sales training, or you've practiced an area that you're trying to develop or get better in, and you've done that consistently for a week, you've now got 7 hours of training under your belt. If you're going up against competition that haven't trained, that haven't put in those same 7 hours, you're going to feel pretty good about yourself. So entering a situation like that, you would have a higher sense of self-esteem or self-confidence than the people going in who have no idea what they're doing. Now that's just common sense, but that affects every area of our life, because only you know if you actually put in the 7 hours and what quality of performance, focus, and discipline went into those 7 hours. In other words, you can fool the world, but you can't fool you, because you know the truth. You know the things you've done that you're ashamed of. You know the things you've done that you're proud of. You know the things other people have done that really still affect you, even though you probably know that they shouldn't. And you know things that other people have done that really boosted you up and gave you a leg up in life. And we're all dealing with this. But when it comes to performance, when it comes to getting yourself to do things that are uncomfortable, it all comes down to your own self-belief, your own self-esteem, whether or not you feel you're a capable and competent person who can handle the situation you're going into. But we don't think about it like that, do we? No, here's what happens. We go to do something really uncomfortable, yeah? And what happens? We get that feeling, especially if we've managed to do it for a couple of days. And let's say that in the past we haven't been all that consistent, and we're doing this thing a couple of days and we feel tired and run down and it's been a particularly difficult day. That night you've got this feeling in your gut that you just don't want to do it. And that's when the rational lies kick in. We justify, just like everybody else, we sell ourselves by a feeling and then justifying the feeling the same way we get sold anything. And we go, well, you know, I've done it 3 times this week. I can't live this way forever. Or we go, oh, well, you know, I need a break. I deserve it. I did it 3 times this week. I deserve a break. And that's all fine, but you've been living the other way your entire life. You've been doing this for 3 days and you need a break. If you got some perspective, some distance from the situation, or even saw somebody else going through it, you might have a different counsel for them, yeah? So that's the difference that makes the difference. See, it's not about what other people think of us. It's about what we think of ourselves. And you can't hide that. You can't run from it. You can't fool you. You can fool the world for a time. So this is one of the most important things in sales. Why? Because your own self-belief in the product, yes, sure, but just in you. A sense of inner confidence, certainty, that is something that other people feel. It's called presence. And when you're not talking, when you're listening to somebody, when you're really empathizing with them, they can tell. Really, they can tell if you're just there to make money or if you're somebody worth listening to. And that's because there's a solid, rock solid confidence inside of you that you pass along non-verbally. That's why this matters so much. How to get there. Now, a lot of people kind of gulp and go, yeah, right, but you don't know my past. And there's usually one or two predominant things that happened. Either somebody did something really horrible to you and you're not really sure how to go forward, or you did the really horrible thing and you don't know how to forgive yourself. Really listen to what I'm about to say. If somebody's done something to you, please understand me. I'm not justifying their actions. But what I am saying to you is that it was in the past. And from this minute forward, you get to choose what it means to you. No matter how bad it was, you still have the power of choice to choose how you respond to that horrible thing going forward. See, no matter what it means, if you're hearing this and you're listening to it, it's giving you inner strength. Now, I'm not justifying it, let's be clear. But just you surviving it has given you an inner strength that is an advantage over other people that haven't had to develop that. And that's in you. And you can take it into any situation going forward. If you're on the other side of that equation, if you're the one who did the horrible thing, it doesn't matter if that was a moment ago or if you've been doing it your entire life. You get to draw a line in the sand right now, because it's your self-esteem that we're trying to influence here. See, you can't do something to somebody else without affecting your own self-esteem. And ultimately, your own self-esteem is your own self-belief. And that self-belief dictates every action you'll ever do, especially trying to do hard things or sell things or have other people believe in you. If you know the truth, none of the rest of it really matters, because in the end, you'll be exposed. People can see through the eyes who you are. They can. We all know it. So you need to do what makes you proud, your way. I'm not telling you what to do, but you do it your way. Live in a way that's true to your values, because you get to live every day as a fresh new version of you. Because when you're proud of yourself, when you know you put in the extra work, the extra discipline, when you know that you live in a way that you can be proud of, regardless of what everybody else does or whatever is trending, you know, you believe in yourself. You go, hey, I deserve these rewards. I deserve to get money and keep money. I don't have to go to the pub on Friday night and spend it because of some subconscious belief that I'm not worthy of good things. And believe me, that affects more people than most people realize. Especially if money keeps slipping through your fingers, or you've got to go shopping to feel good. A lot of people do that on Friday and Saturday. Hey, we've got to fix up the house, because what else would you be doing if you weren't doing that? And what's the need underneath that? Another way of looking at it is when you're going into an uncomfortable situation in business or selling something you believe in. If you know that you're a good person with an opportunity for someone, you can't wait to tell them about it, because it's genuine. Now, you put on a professional show, and I always say this, when you're in service of another person, regardless of how you're feeling in that situation, you put on a show. It is a show. It's a professional show. They are going to get the best of me because I'm asking for a few minutes of their time. Because I'm asking for their time, their most precious resource, I'm going to give them the best of me, regardless of how I'm feeling in that moment. Whether I want to do it, don't want to do it, they're going to get my best, and I'm going to serve them at the highest level that I possibly can. So that's the show. It's not being inauthentic. It's summoning the best of who I am, stepping out like I was a performer, walking onto stage. I'm going to entertain them. I'm going to educate them. I'm going to do whatever it takes to give them an awesome experience. If they don't buy, they're going to leave having a great day just because they spoke to me. And if they do buy, I'm going to better their lives with my product. And I'm going to do that every single time, because as much as I'm selling them and getting a monetary return for the investment they make in my product, every single transaction affects my self-esteem and my own confidence going into the next sale, which is why we usually always sell better after we've just had a sale. Now, this affects every area of your life. It affects if you can get yourself to work out consistently, walking up to strangers and introducing yourself, finding your life partner. There isn't one aspect of life where this doesn't ring true. So how do you actually use this? Pick the area of life you want to work on. Wake up an hour early every day. That's the simple way to do it. Or just pick an hour every single day where you're going to give it consistent focus. What do you want? then look around and go, okay, who's getting the results that I want? Where are the killers in this area? Yeah? Google it, ask ChatGPT, do your research, find people who are already getting right now, not 10 years ago, but right now, the results you want. What are their best practices? What are they doing? Take those best practices and in your own mind, imagine you just pinning them onto a board to give you ideas, because that's a great place to start. Now look at the game, get into the game, and find your own angles, your own twists. Start using your own intuition. This is so important because ultimately, the more times you trust your own intuition and you take a step forward, the more times you learn to trust yourself and build your self-esteem and your confidence going into the next action, especially when you screw up and make a mistake. Because if you've got a healthy perspective, you know you're going to make a mistake. This is so important. Walking around with your chest out, telling everybody or trying to convince yourself that you've got confidence and you're never going to make a mistake is the opposite of what I'm talking about, because that's just overcompensating for the fact that you clearly don't have confidence in yourself. When you do something new, you're going to screw up a lot. A lot. You need to have confidence in yourself that you can screw up much more than everybody else is screwing up and twice as fast, so that you get better results and more data to work with, and you get to develop confidence and real skill. Real world skill, not some delusional, I'll figure it all out in my head and I'll find the ultimate angle through. That's hiding. That doesn't work in any reality. The truth is, the real path forward is simply going, okay, I'm going to do something new. And I know I'm going to screw up fast, but hey, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to adapt, and I believe in myself enough to know I'll find a path forward. The next couple of months are going to be awesome. That's true self-confidence. So this week, pick an area you want to focus on. Find out what are the best practices in that area that are working right now, not 6 months ago, but right now. Pin them up in your mind's eye. Look at the playing field. Work out your entry point into that arena and go, okay, how do I make this mine? What can I do that's just a little bit different, a little bit creative? Trust me, if you do this cycle enough times, it'll change your life. Anyway, till next week. See you again on Adapting Awesomely.